Okay, I'm riding right now to my meeting, 35th in Michigan. I got a phone call just maybe 15 minutes ago responding to a few ads that we include in the Nextdoor.com and Facebook regarding the recent flood in Archer Heights and surrounding neighborhoods. Yesterday I received a phone call from a lady in Stickney. She have a lot of health problem. She lost her car because she ran into the high water on Cicero Avenue when the rain was pouring so bad a couple weeks ago. She flooded the car. The airbag exploded on her chest and she had some problems. She ended up in the hospital because she had some kind of pacemaker or something installed in her body, and the eruption of the airbag caused a lot of damage. She ended up in the hospital, but she asked me to help her also with the flood. She's got a flood in her home on top of the loss of her car, and I talked to her yesterday, and I'm going to talk to her again today when I get some time to see who she contacted. She did say that she contacted one of her insurance, and she also told me that town of Stickney shut the sewers off or something. Some blockage. There was some blockage that caused the water come back through the sewers, and because the power lost power, her sump pump wasn't working, so she got her property flooded. Lost her furniture, furnace damage, and a lot of appliances and so forth. So I'm trying to get her some resources and some help. She's only 62. So when I come back from my meetings, I will find some time to talk to her. But meantime, another lady from 23rd Ward, she called me and she said, we got a 23rd Ward residents have a beat meeting at the local church at 7 p.m. I'm going to try to attend there. She also mentioned to me how disgusted she is of the 23rd Ward service that she's receiving and the mayor of Chicago. So the meeting is supposed to be part of the recent flood in our neighborhood. She got flooded. Her basement was flooded completely. Well, numerous people have problems. I have problems. My next door neighbors have problems. So we will see what we could do about that. So now this is additional information. You know, I filed a lawsuit against 23rd Ward and other wards, 14 and 22nd wards, for the lack of transparency to the residents, as well as mistreating of disabled people, senior citizens, bilingual people, not allowing them to have their own representation when asked for city services or anything else within the capability of doing, and expect it to be done by the ward offices. This is very disgusting. So you see, some people are coming forward with these concerns, and I'm glad. I'm very proud of them. Instead of talking and putting their heads in the sand and butts out in the sun, trying to get suntan, they realize that finally they have to speak, and I'm willing to help them. That's what a watchdog group does. That's what I do, Jerry. I am 66 young and I'm disabled, but instead of dwelling on my disability, I decided that I will do this for my neighbors, my residents of Chicago, my friends. They come to me and then they help me with my errands around the house. They help me cut my grass and so on and so forth. So it's tremendous help because, you know, due to my disability, I'm not able to do some things. But I'm able to drive and speak on their behalf when they working and busting their butts. Sometimes they're working 2 jobs and paying taxes. So the alderman's offices collect their money, paycheck, and they don't care. Some of them, they just clearly don't. And I see that I'm not the only one. And not just my next door neighbors, but neighbors, residents of city of Chicago start coming forward. I'm very glad this is happening. So we'll see what this outcome is going to be very shortly. As I said, 3 lawsuits are pending right now. And we're getting the information, and we have a lot of evidence for past couple years. Excuse me. Pictures, videos, and testimony, sworn statement, notarized statement. Oh, we just got to put it together. And yes, we're going to be looking for some attorneys maybe help us so we could keep up with this nonsense, bureaucracy within our, excuse me, judicial system, because we run into a lot of problems. Judges turn around, no, this wasn't submitted correctly. Well, we go to Daly Center down in the advisory desk, and they do the filing of the papers. And afterwards, when we get the hearing, the judge turns out, no, this should be done this way or that way. Well, we are not attorneys. We don't know. That's why we seek for the assistance. Should be provided to us. This is so corrupted, so disgusted. This has got to be stopped. So let's see if we're going to put at least a dent. I know, and my friends know, that we cannot save the world. That's true. But we definitely can put the dent to it, and we could make a hole in it. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to fall into it in the process. So that's what our journey is all about. That's what a watchdog does on a daily basis. For years, I do have experience of about 40-some years dealing with numerous institutions and businesses and mom and pop stores, insurance company, banks, you name it. I touch a lot of people. I'm probably the youngest punk on the block right now from the old generation. So we're just going to remind some people, some youngsters, what life is all about. If the farmer plants the tree and plant the seeds in the ground, and he or she does not take care of the seed, watering, take the weed out, there will be no results. There will be no grain growing. There will be no vegetables growing, no fruits growing on the trees. Trees not going to be growing. And that would be end of it. So you see, you got to look into the root. You have to remember where you came from. Because if you don't have no food on the table, you cannot go to work, you cannot produce different things, the material things that destroy our lives. You cannot pour the concrete and seal the earth. Seal so bad, and some countries are trying to reverse right now. I hope they're not too late. The earth needs to breathe. So this is one thing that being seen all over the world, not only in Chicago, not only in the United States, but every place. I came from Eastern Europe, and that's exactly what a lot of people facing these problems. We cannot manipulate Mother Earth. We just gotta be very, very careful so that doesn't backfire on us. All right, folks, if you have any suggestions, you could contact me like the other people do. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them, or I will find the answer for you. Maybe not the one you like to hear it, but that's life. You know, most of us only want to hear what we want to hear. But that's the problem. That's why the 23rd Ward keeps the doors closed in front of my face, or anybody that I come with, when they ask me to represent them,